Officially opened in November 2016, the Albury Wodonga Regional Cancer Centre brought the very best medical treatment, care and facilities to our region. It united public and private cancer services under one roof, offering a place to educate, support, research, diagnose and treat all forms of cancer. Facilities within the centre include a 30-bed inpatient ward, 28 day chemotherapy chairs, 3 radiotherapy bunkers, 17 consulting rooms, a wellness centre and a pharmacy. A dedicated children's treatment space and a PET scanner have been built within Albury Hospital as part of the same project. On average, the Cancer Centre treats 250 patients a day. It covers a large regional catchment, including Henty and Holbrook in the north, Mansfield and Mount Beauty in the south, Deniliquin in the west and Kincoven to the east. Whilst construction of the centre was funded by government, we are now heavily reliant on community and corporate support to ensure we remain at the forefront of cancer treatment. The Trust Fund was established to support cancer services in the region, in particular the Cancer Centre. Donations to the Trust are used to fund life-saving cancer equipment, staff training and development, cancer research and wellness and supportive care programs provided through the Wellness Centre. Every cent raised by the Trust stays local, so help our friends, family members, work colleagues and acquaintances who may be going through the cancer journey right now.
It touches so many people. Personally, it's obviously affected me firsthand, but it's more so a journey for my wife and my 2 children, let alone my parents and family and friends. So if we multiply the people who have been affected by me and everyone else out there too that's affected some way or another, it touches the lives of so many people, unfortunately. But centres like the Albury Cancer Centre, Albury Wodonga Cancer Centre, are pivotal to what we do as a community, as a society. And hopefully one day, I suppose, with the benefit of working in a school, that we may well have the student that cures cancer one day.
We are so blessed to have the Cancer Centre here, right on our doorstep. The fact that we don't have to drive 3 or more hours to Melbourne and that we literally have to only drive 15 minutes down the road is an absolute blessing for people in our community. One of the big draw cards for us before we moved here was that we could see that there was a centre where everything was incorporated together. We knew that for me, if I were to have a recurrence, that radiotherapy was an option, that there were surgeons here, that I could go and have my appointments with an oncologist all in the one centre.
The thing that I've noticed walking through the clinic here today is it doesn't feel like a hospital. It feels like a warm environment. It feels like a home as you walk into each different room, and so it's not so intimidating. It's not so daunting, sterile. It doesn't even smell like a hospital, like I said. So it, to be able to have this sort of facility so close to home would have been amazing for my dad, I know. So anybody else going through the same thing would, really benefit from having this facility. It's wonderful.
I think the Wellness Centre is a fantastic space where everyone can come together, like-minded people. For me, it's been really great because I've got a cancer that's not as common as other cancers, so it's a very lonely journey. I feel like I've got a place now that I've belong here. It's somewhere where I can come and I can talk to other people that are on this similar journeys, but not necessarily the same as mine. So I found it's really, that really warm place that you can come for that reason.
So it's thank you to both the Trust and all the community donors that donate to the Trust, because without that effort and consideration to doing that, we would never be able to buy the equipment. The total grant that we received was $264,000, which enabled us to buy 2 separate lots of equipment. And we've been really fortunate because that equipment then means that patients no longer have to travel to Melbourne for laser surgery on their larynx, and it also means for this equipment that patients can have real-time diagnosis done here in Albury.
There's really good evidence that if cancers are detected early when they're small, then the treatment is easier and the cure rates are better. We know that a person with a small tumour that's 1 centimetre is going to get a better outcome than a patient with a 4 centimetre tumour. It makes sense. And so by having access to scopes, patients get detected, and if they're small, they get better outcomes.
It's so important that we as a community get behind the Cancer Centre. Any donation, doesn't matter how small, how big, is going to be greatly appreciated and going to make all the difference for people in our area.
Oh, I think people definitely need to get behind it. It's something that we need so much in this community. So many people have had to travel so far to get the services that they're now having here under one roof. And yeah, I think that we all should really get behind it and totally support it.
As I've walked through the centre here today, I can see it is such a wonderful environment, and there's so many great programs and things available for people, but these things don't run themselves, and people can't come in and facilitate them. You know, even things like you've just mentioned, the wigs, or having people come and do art classes. These things are so helpful for people that are going through treatment. So, but none of the programs can run without funding.
The Trust Fund really needs your help. About 200 patients a day come through the centre. The Trust is funding vital pieces of equipment and research activity that couldn't otherwise be easily funded. It makes a big difference. All the money donated locally stays locally to help patients right across our region.